Imagine if every choice you make, every hesitation, every moment you hold back is driven by something you rarely name. What if I told you there's a silent force behind why you stay in a job that drains you, a relationship that no longer fits, or why the thought of speaking your truth makes your heart race? It's not just fear of failure or judgment. It's deeper. It's the fear of psychological death, the loss of who you think you are, the comfort of your identity, the safety of the known. Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds in psychology, believed this fear shapes our lives more than we realize, keeping us stuck, small, and disconnected from our true selves. But what if facing this fear could set you free? If you're someone who craves growth, who wants to dig into the deeper layers of life, stick with me. Subscribe to Fractal Wisdom so we can explore these questions together. Let's dive in. Why do we freeze when change knocks? Picture this. You're at a crossroads. Maybe it's a career pivot, a move to a new city, or just admitting you're not happy. Your chest tightens, your mind races with what-ifs. Why? Because change feels like losing a piece of yourself. Jung called this the ego's resistance, the part of you that clings to certainty. Most of us don't think about death daily, but its shadow looms in these moments. The fear of letting go of old habits, roles, or versions of you mimics the fear of dying. But here's the twist. Jung believed these tiny deaths are necessary. They're how we grow, how we become whole. So why do we resist? Let's step back and see where this fear comes from, how it's woven into our lives from the start. We don't just wake up one day afraid of change. It's taught, layered into us from childhood. Think back to when you were 5, hearing, "Don't climb that, you'll fall," or "Be careful, it's dangerous." These warnings meant to protect planted a seed. Avoid risk, avoid pain, avoid endings. By the time you're an adult, those lessons stack up. Death isn't just physical, it's the end of anything, a job, a friendship, a version of you. Ernest Becker, in his book, The Denial of Death, argued we spend our lives dodging this fear. We chase promotions, build routines, seek likes on social media, all to feel like we matter, like we'll last. But it's a trap. Jung took it further, introducing the shadow self, the parts of you that you hide, the fears you bury. That fear of endings? It's in there, whispering, "Stay safe, don't change." Our culture doesn't help. We're told to stay busy, to optimize, to avoid the unknown. Every time you choose the familiar over the uncertain, that's the shadow talking, keeping you from evolving. But not everyone sees death this way. What if we've been looking at it all wrong? Let's explore how other cultures and Jung's wisdom can shift our perspective. While we in the West often shrink from death, other cultures embrace it. In Mexico, Dia de los Muertos is a vibrant celebration, with families honoring the dead with flowers, food, and song. In parts of Africa and Asia, death is a transition, not an end. Ancestors guide the living, their presence felt. These cultures don't fear death, they weave it into life. What do they know that we've forgotten? Jung would say it's this: death is transformation. His concept of individuation, the journey to your true self, requires letting go of false identities. Every breakup, every career shift, every moment you shed an old belief is a psychic death, a step toward authenticity. But we resist because we're taught loss is failure. Think about the last time you stayed in a situation too long, a job that dulled you, a relationship that felt hollow. Why? Because the unknown feels like dying. Jung's shadow self holds those fears. being irrelevant, unloved, or out of control. Yet, other cultures show us that embracing these endings brings freedom. They honor the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. So how do we start seeing change as growth, not loss? Let's look at what's happening in our brains and how we can break free. This fear isn't just in your mind, it's in your body. When you face change, your amygdala, the brain's fear center, lights up like it's facing a lion, a new job, a tough conversation, even questioning your beliefs. To your brain, it's all danger. That's why your heart pounds, your palms sweat. It's not just emotional, it's physiological. Jung said, "What you resist not only persists, but grows in size." Ignore that fear, and it festers, shaping your choices. So how do you stop it from running the show? First, slow down. Notice when you're clinging to a role, a routine, a version of you. Ask, why am I doing this? Is it fear or truth? Jung's shadow work means facing what you've buried. The fear of starting over, of being seen, of failing. Try this. Next time you're stuck, journal one question: what am I avoiding? It's not about fixing yourself, it's about listening. Another step, let go of control. You can't plan every outcome, and that's okay. Change feels like death because your ego craves certainty. But the more you resist, the more you shrink. Cultures that celebrate death teach us to surrender, to trust the cycle. Ready to live differently? Let's talk about what happens when you stop running from death. When you stop fearing death, physical or psychological, something shifts. You start living for truth, not safety. Jung called this individuation, becoming whole by embracing all of you, even the messy parts. Imagine this. If today were your last, would you scroll endlessly, hold back words you need to say, chase approval? Probably not. You'd savor the moment, speak your heart, protect your peace. That's the gift of facing death. It makes life sacred. Try asking better questions, not how do I look, but does this feel true? Design your time deliberately. Block out space for rest, connection, silence. Clear the air with those you love. Say the apologies. Forgive first. Cultures like the Hindu tradition see death as part of a cosmic cycle, a return to source. Indigenous wisdom honors it as a teacher, not a punishment. You don't need to be a monk to live this way. Start small. Notice the pauses. Let endings breathe without rushing to fill them. Your time is limited, but that's not sad. It's what makes every choice matter. If this resonates, don't just close the tab. Hit like to share this with others. Comment what this stirred in you. Share it with someone you trust. Subscribe to Fractal Wisdom. We're here for the real stuff, and you're part of it now. See you in the next journey.